to today's video. My name is Bailey and I am your Reiki master today. And today's video, I wanted to focus on providing healing for someone going through a breakup or a divorce or some type of situation that's causing you a lot of pain and suffering. And I also just wanted to share with you a little bit about my story and how I came to be doing this and why a video on relationships and heartbreak are very near and dear to my heart. I haven't shared this publicly before, so please be nice. It's a little scary, but I almost exactly 5 years ago, my marriage ended, and so I know what you're going through if you're watching this and going through a divorce or a breakup. It's extremely hard and challenging, and really, at least for me, it was very sad and scary, and I had been really lost for a long time. And I think part of the reason why my marriage ended is because I was going down a different path from my partner at the time, but was feeling very lost in the relationship that I was in and where I was in my life. And when we broke up, I was unemployed. I had just moved to a new city. I wasn't really in the career that I wanted to be in at the time. At least I didn't think. I was kind of burnt out as a nurse and had really bad anxiety, and used to numb a lot of that through various ways. And it was, very scary, but it was also very liberating at the same time. And I think because while I was very much floating and didn't know where I was going, I kind of also looked at it as, I used to say this analogy where I was looking at I was standing on the edge of a black abyss, and while it was really scary and there was a lot of unknown and I didn't know where my life was going or what I was doing, it was also really exciting because I felt so free. And I remember saying when we first decided to separate that, gosh, I feel like a feather, like blowing in the wind, like I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I'm free. And what that led me to was a path of reconnecting with myself. I started through yoga, and then yoga led to meditation, and meditation eventually led to kind of Reiki finding me or coming into my life. And through the whole process, it was very much, ups and downs and peaks and troughs. And just when I think, I'm doing great, something else would happen, and kind of like a layer of an onion, more layers would come up and more layers would come up, and I would continue the healing process. And what I found to really be kind of the the same kind of narrative through all of those kind of little ups and downs was when I reconnected with myself, when I came back to myself, because I think especially as women, we're so disconnected from ourselves a lot of times because we try to wear so many hats and can fall into the perfectionist and people-pleasing kind of trap, that we don't really remember who we are, and we don't love ourselves like the way that we really were intended to and can. And when I started to come back to myself, to really embrace who I was and where I was going, and that's when the real kind of healing happened. And I really, when I started doing that, and it wasn't all the time, it was, I'd hear it in a yoga class or read a quote or a book, and it would remind me like, oh, this is really important, this is really helping me. But then I'd get distracted, and when you're freshly single, there's a lot of you're exploring your world and a lot of distractions, and you can kind of numb yourself in a way, because it is so painful, and looking at that real the situation, looking at it head on, and is scary. And it is like it's a mourning process as well, because part of you, at least for me, what I found was part of you dies in this process, because that relationship, even if you get back together, it's never exactly the same. And you have your friends and your family, and if you have children, it's that life is together is gone, and it's really sad. I mean, even my ex-partner and I have a really good relationship, but like my sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws, like we were really close, and knowing that those relationships will never be what they were, is really sad. And so there's a big mourning process that you have to go through and let yourself go through, because otherwise it'll just get stuck. And that's what happened to me as well. As I've always been a really positive, upbeat, optimistic person, and I didn't like having those feelings of sadness and frustration and guilt and all of the sad emotions that come with going through a breakup. And I didn't let myself fully feel those emotions for a while, and then it would manifest into something that was not ideal, and kind of catch my attention and say, okay, you need to manage this, or you need to confront this and move through it. And that's the thing, is you feel emotions, you move through them, they don't have to stick with you. And so letting that kind of bubble up to the surface, having a good cry, if you need to, have a good scream, if you need to punch a pillow, if you need to talk to someone. Took me a long time to actually go to a therapist, but really what ultimately helped, in me moving through this was realizing that that you're on your own healing journey, and connecting with yourself on that healing journey is the most important thing. And I promise you, it does get better, and one day you will look back and you'll be like, holy cow, I cannot believe like how strong I am, how much I've grown. I can honestly say that getting divorced was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I feel more in in touch with myself, with more control over, kind of my own destiny and my own life. And not that you can't have that in a relationship, and I am in an amazing new relationship, but I think you have to go through that kind of healing process and connect back in with yourself. At least I know I did. And everybody's journey is different, but I'm just sharing this with you because I wish I would have had someone to share these things with me. I didn't know anyone. I was pretty young at the time. And, I still feel pretty young now, but at the time, I was about 32 when it all happened. So I feel like there's not a lot of, when you're the only person in your circle of friends maybe going through something like that, and your friends are friends with your partner, your ex, spouse, it can be, that's a whole nother kind of layer of difficulty to navigate. So I just want you to remember to be gentle with yourself, to really just take this time to focus on connecting with yourself, loving yourself, because if we can't truly love ourselves, we're not going to be able to bring the best version of ourselves to our next relationship and properly heal. And that was something that I experienced firsthand. So I hope this brings you some maybe insight or inspiration or some relief, and it will get better. You are an amazing person. You're so strong. You're more strong and capable and powerful than you ever have imagined. And while you may be in the dark night of the soul, just like the age-old example of the butterfly, you have to go into your dark cocoon before you can, spread your wings. Or you have to go into the darkness as a little seed before you can grow into that amazing, beautiful flower. And it will get better, I promise. And so we're going to go ahead and get you some healing today to hopefully help you move through some of these emotions. And we're going to focus on the heart space. And the heart chakra, because I know for me, I definitely had chest tightness and pain, and store a lot of my anxiety in my chest. I can actually feel that right now because it's a little anxious sharing this publicly, but I know in my heart of hearts that, well, anyway, I hope in my heart that this can bring you some relief and some encouragement and some healing today. So just want you to go ahead and find a comfy place to lay down or relax. And we're gonna go ahead and just take some nice deep inhales through the nose, and exhale, sigh it out. Inhale and exhale, sigh it out. And inhale and exhale, sigh it out. And I'm gonna start by just doing a little clearing of your space so that we can remove any stagnant energy, emotion, heartache that may be stuck somewhere, maybe causing some blockages. So we're just going to use this Palo Santo to get the space nice and cleared and get our healing process and journey started. So just wafting this around your aura. So we're just cleansing and clearing, removing any blockages, any stagnant energy in your auric field. Okay, I'm just going to set this down over here. I'm going to take my selenite wand and give you a little spiritual shower. So this is selenite has very strong healing properties. So I'm just going to use its energy to just, again, kind of wipe back another layer of your aura. And just going from your head to your feet, back up to your head. And we're just brushing off some of those stagnant emotions, some of that pain, guilt, shame. I think shame was a big one for me that I wasn't even able to articulate at the time, but the idea of going home to the town I grew up in, that our relationship started in, I couldn't bear it. That's why I moved. That's why I'm in Ireland. I can go back now, but it was very hard for a very long time. I'm going to take this nice chunk of rose quartz, and I'm just going to place this on your chest, on your heart chakra, and this is going to help to break up any of that imbalance that you might have in that space. Help draw out any pain, any tension that might be in your heart space right now. Just going to set that down on you. I'm going to just use a little bit of my chamomile water just to help you kind of get further relaxed and settled into your bed or your resting place before we get going. So I'm just going to give you a little spritz. Your aura. Okay, and I'm going to call the Reiki energy in, and all you have to do to receive this energy through this distance healing session is set the intention, because energy knows no space or time. So this will come to you wherever and whenever you're watching this video. Okay. So, chakra, chakra, anshashe, shonya, anshashe, shonya, anshashe, shonya, shanti, and I'm just going to call on my guides and helpers to connect with your guides and your helpers so that we can all work together to bring you further along your healing journey and help you heal from this heartbreak that you're going through, but also bloom into the amazing person that you are, is waiting for you underneath all this pain and suffering that you're experiencing right now. There is light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. And the light just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Something that helped me a lot during my journey that sometimes I forgot about, but when I remembered, it always brought me so much comfort and connection with myself, was to just start to say, I love you to yourself, and to really cultivate that loving relationship with yourself. To be proud of what you're doing, what you've accomplished, and the growth that you're undertaking. Because whether you are the one that was broken up with, the one that broke up with someone, it's hard both ways, and it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of courage to pick up the pieces, whatever side of the equation you're on. And it always takes two to tango, something I learned through my breakup. So it may not always be fun to think about or easy to feel, but taking responsibility for yourself, for your own healing, is so empowering and puts the cards in your hand, the strength back into you. And it will get better, I promise. You're very strong, very brave, beautiful soul. And someday you'll look back at this time in your life and be like, wow, look what I did. Look what I was able to to grow through. Look how I rebuilt my life. Look at all the amazing things I've been able to do and accomplish. And you'll think, I did that. That was me. And if I can do that, I can do anything. So just don't forget that. I know it's sometimes easier said than done. Because when we're in that deep, dark place, it feels like there may not be any relief coming anytime soon. But that's the time when focusing on yourself, maybe taking a nice bath by yourself, lighting some candles to set the intention that you're going to focus on loving yourself, on healing yourself. Maybe it's listening to a song, having a good dance, a good shake out, a good cry, just releasing some of that emotion, going for a walk, going in your backyard, just standing barefoot on the grass, connecting to the earth, letting her pull some of that stagnant energy off of you. Or maybe it's watching a video like this or some other type of uplifting talk, finding inspirational quotes, making a playlist of empowering songs. Those were some of the things that I've done that have really helped me. And just remembering that you are an amazing person. You are worthy. You are loved. And you will be okay. You will be better than okay. Because I promise you, you will come out of this process strong and empowered and in love with yourself and what you have been able to accomplish for yourself. I'm always here for you if you need some healing or just time out to relax, relieve a bit of stress or worries that you're going through. So I hope this has brought you some relief, some encouragement, and just know that you're not alone, and know that you can do